What is up, everybody? It is episode 4 here. Just got a short crew today. It's just me, Rizzy, and Pip. Obviously, not a lot has happened over the past week as free agency in the offseason has kind of quieted and stalled a little bit as expected, heading into draft preparation and all that stuff. But what's up, boys? How are we feeling? Obviously, not much to talk about, but, we did have the Justin Fields trade, which I thought was, little fun move that we got to make, better than cutting him. So, welcome back.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
what
we
I
got
like.
the all. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Pep. You take it
I
away.
think what I like most about the trade is just in general, where we basically got Minka for free. That's what it comes down to. You're getting a six, you're getting it back, and it's all that took to give up to get Minka. Help the secondary. It's been a need for a while, and that's what makes it good. I think it solidifies, at least for me, that Muji is moving into like a high B plus territory for me as a GM. I still want to see what he has on draft night, but overall, every trade that he's made, he's won.
I agree.
100%. And also, we recouped the 3 mil or we saved 3 mil. It would have costed 10 mil to cut him. We were only going to pay 7 mil, and then that makes up for the 3 mil that we're paying Geno. So essentially, you got Geno for free too this year, which is insane. I'm honestly, I'm just stunned that anyone even would have traded for Fields. Like, he would have been cut. I don't think there would have been many people that would have sought after him if he wanted to go to if the Chiefs wanted him, he probably would have went there anyway, and they could have paid him the league minimum, and that would have been it. So the fact that he was able to even put this deal together is impressive, and like he's just a wizard. He's just a wizard. So it's
Yeah,
good to see.
it's really interesting that they somebody did want, like you said, someone did want to trade for Justin Fields. Like, there's nothing that he's shown over the past 2 years that said, I'm going to give up an asset for him. It's and obviously, you can go tit for tat for that because we did the same exact thing for Geno Smith. But Geno Smith, he's just going to throw the ball around. He's a veteran. He has obviously not much, but has shown some sort of signs that he could win you a couple of games and kind of hold the gap. Justin Fields is not even competitive when he's out there, maybe 2 times a week, a year. But it's going to be just our luck is that Mahomes isn't going to play and Justin Fields is going to start and he's going to be fucking insane. And just because Andy Reid's going to find something to do with him, um, I don't know. I mean, listen, it is what it is. You know what I mean? If he figures it out there, that's the one place that he could figure it out. That's the way I look at it. Like, there's no way that we would return Justin Fields and say anything that the Chiefs did if they figure it out. Because, like, I mean, they have Andy Reid. He's a wizard at the end of the day. So it's just it'd just be like another LOL Jets moment if Justin Fields was somewhat competitive. But it's not like Justin Fields is going to start enough games and do enough to take the job from Patrick Mahomes, unless Pat is out an extended period of time. But right now, from what I'm seeing, all signs point for him being there week 1. But listen, nothing against Justin Fields. You know what I mean? I was a big hater on Justin Fields coming out of the draft. I was a big hater of him in Chicago. I'm also a Zach D1 Glazer. I love Zach Wilson. And I think Justin Fields is literally just, honestly, I think he's worse than Zach Wilson. I think he's just Zach Wilson that can run a little bit. That's all he is. So, but I do wish him the best. I did like him on the Jets, like, even obviously it was just 1 year, but I did like him. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hate him. He's not a bad person to hate. You know what I mean? He's just an ass quarterback. That's all he is at the end of the day. He's just bad. That's all it
I think
is.
it's just we're at the start of him becoming a backup quarterback, which is fine. The league needs it. I think that's why we got anything for him is just because the league's starting to realize how valuable a backup is. Just all the injuries that have happened the last 2 years. I'm not shocked that we got something for him. I'm happy we didn't cut him. It's like the same reason that we traded for Geno is that when you need a guy, you go and get him. And if it's a sixth, it's a sixth. It's cheap, but like we're happy we got anything. They're happy that they got a backup for a sixth. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that backup comment too, like there was reports this week that Mooch checked in on McKee and Mac Jones and Davis Mills and all these guys, and they said the asking price was kind of absurdly high, and it just goes to show how important the backup is and how much these teams do value a capable backup. Because as we saw last year, we had Tyrod, but once he went down, that was it. There was no semblance of an offense, and we didn't have anybody to run the offense. So I mean, yeah, I guess Justin Fields. I don't even think he's good enough to be a backup. He didn't want to use his legs really that much last year, so that's kind of his only tool. Um, we'll always have week one, I guess, but it'll be interesting to see what happens this year.
We
Yeah,
won't.
I
That's
mean,
out the window already.
it's also with like the prices on these backup quarterbacks. It's, you know, I understand on those three guys why the price is so high. Mac Jones won a lot of games in San Francisco. He was in that system. You know, you saw it happen with Sam when he left San Fran. I can understand why you're going to price someone like Mac Jones a lot higher, especially because Mac Jones, honestly, outside a couple of years, Mac Jones has actually played pretty well. He's won games, you know what I mean, with not much around him in New England, you know, other than just being within Belichick. And then obviously he had a really bad year and lost his job. But, you know, that's somebody that I think is a prime candidate to kind of like revive their career, go somewhere else and kind of figure it out. I mean, shout out Nick Gambale. Loves Mac Jones. He just says Mac Jones is a winner. And he's not wrong. I mean, and where Mac Jones goes, he finds ways to win games. Obviously, he hasn't won Super Bowl or anything like that, but he's, you know, he's a winner, you know, at the end of the day. You know, I don't like him, but he knows how to compete. Um, Davis Mills, I think when CJ went down, you know, you got that long neck, whatever it is, you know, but he figured it out there too, and he was better than CJ Stroud, honestly. I mean, they were humming. They were good. They were really good, Houston. CJ set back into it, and they just made a run for the playoffs. You can argue that if they bench CJ Stroud, they probably win another playoff game. You can argue that CJ Stroud was that bad. And McKee, honestly, I think it's just because of being in Philadelphia. I think that's all it is. I haven't really seen enough for him to been like, yeah, he warrants it. I think it's just that he's in Philadelphia. And, you know, I like Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. A lot of people don't like Jalen Hurts. I personally do like Jalen Hurts. I think he's good. I think he gets a lot of hate. He's another guy that, you know, he wins games. I mean, he's won a Super Bowl. I mean, he has his moments. You know, I mean, he definitely, you know, where he makes some interesting decisions and whatnot. But I do like Jalen Hurts. And I think people are saying if Jalen Hurts can succeed in Philadelphia, he's probably picking up on everything that's going on there and what kind of works. Why not figure it out here? But with that being said, long-winded answer is I would not trade a lot of assets. The only one I would think about, maybe, but I don't even think we're in that position, would be Mac Jones, but we're not in that position to do something like that. If we were segueing from Rodgers to like a ready-to-win roster, and Rodgers was retired, but we had talent on our roster still, and, you know, we were, you know, still kind of right there, we weren't looking to really rebuild, then I would entertain something like a Mac Jones. But I think right now, Geno Smith is exactly really what we need right now. It's either it's going to make the team a little bit better and you're going to see how this offense can run, or they're going to be dog shit and you're tanking into next season.
Yeah, if we were the Vikings and you're a team that's a team that goes after Mac Jones. Not a team like us. Especially for a second round pick. Like we need those picks. We need to make those picks.
Right.
I think Mac Jones, he probably would have got like Malik Willis money. That might sound crazy, but like he's proven more in his career than Malik Willis ever has.
100% he has.
So it's just I'm surprised that he hasn't been traded this offseason. I think I'm surprised that a team like the Vikings didn't give the Niners a haul, but I guess they value him that much. So
I think what it is with the Niners though is that they're definitely going to have a really high price tag on him because Brock Purdy has shown the past of the years that he can't stay healthy, and you know, obviously you could probably just plug and play with anybody there, but if Mac is willing to be the backup, you know, why can't he just stay there? You know what I mean? If he's willing to be a backup, if there's no starter roles there for him to just step into, then I think it's fine for him to kind of just like sit back there and kind of just like wait for the next thing to happen, unless something else opens up. But right now, there really isn't anything. I mean, you might see post-draft something, but if I'm him, you just sit out another year, see what happens, and see where else you can go. Also, you don't know what happens mid-season. You don't know who goes down early in training camp.
Yeah,
this shit happens all the time. You look at someone like Joe Burrow, probably will get hurt again. If I'm the Bengals, I'm with that roster, I'm knocking on that door with the second round pick or whatever it is to get someone like Mac Jones.
They just signed Cool Joe today. They're bringing him
Again, they
back.
did.
Yeah, they're bringing him back on a
Yeah,
one-year
they
deal.
did.
I'm surprised he's still kicking. I don't know how he's not retired yet, especially on that team.
I think Mac Jones sucks. I think he's
I don't.
had one good year his rookie year. He was in a Shanahan offense last year, and the 3 years in between were fucking miserable.
I don't
think-
doubt that. I just I guess my point then would be then what has Malik Willis shown to get that money? I'm not disagreeing with you with
I
what
would
you're
not give
saying,
Malik
but
Willis $30
yeah.
million a year, and I'm so happy that the Dolphins did. If they want to do that and eat that, so be it. He is set up to fail there. He was in a LaFleur offense. He had 4 wide receiver twos on the team and a good run game with Josh Jacobs. And that's what he showed as a backup. And he was good as a backup. But
Yeah.
to be the starter of this Miami team is something completely different. That's why even if you're someone like the Vikings, I don't think Mac Jones is succeeding there at all. It's not much different than his rookie year situation with the Patriots, where you got some guys to throw to. I understand Justin Jefferson and Addison. I mean, the run game's not great there, and the offensive line's like average.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Pip, which is surprising. But and Malik Willis, it's so funny. Like he was already probably set up to fail to begin with just by going to Miami, but now that they're tearing it down, like there's no way he knew that they were tearing it down when he signed.
No, not
Like
at all.
it just the timing doesn't make sense. What's it? He says, "What's he on a 2-year deal?"
3. I think it's a
It's
3-year
3 years
deal.
deal?
Yeah.
Like
Honestly,
it's
though,
crazy.
I kind of think that he did know, and because the guys there are from Green Bay, you know what I mean. So I feel like they had to be kind of transparent with it, and I'm pretty sure it was expected by everybody that Miami was going to do this year, and they were going to tear it down. It's just interesting that they decided to invest in a quarterback. Out of everything that they did, like
Right,
it
because
just
then
like
you're
goes.
going to have the first pick next, or might have the first pick next year, and then you're going to take Archer or
And it's
whoever
even
the
that-
QB1
it's-
is.
But it's also just like, why are you going to throw money into it? I mean, unless they structured that deal somehow where they can cut them at the end of the season and no harm, no foul, or whatever it may be, or they're just like, everyone else is doing this. Why not just throw the money there and figure it out? But if I was them, I would have saw what I had in yours. Might as well. And
Because what if
if
he
he-
is the guy?
exactly,
He's
you know what I
probably
mean?
not,
Like,
but
I don't think he would be either. I'm a big Ewers hater. I don't think he's good, but you might as well test the waters and see what is out there. But again, I mean, listen, it's a new GM, it's a new coach, and they want him to go Malik Willis. Then we'll see. I mean, listen, I'm happy it's them and not us. I would have been. I think I would have been done at that point. If they would have fucking paid Malik Willis, I would have been done. It just would have made no sense.
it wouldn't have made any sense. As much as we did float the idea in the group chat, I
You.
floated the idea in the group chat. Well, that was like prime Malik Willis hype right after his big game or big games. It would not have made sense for our team.
The cap's
No.
actually not bad for the Dolphin situation. It's only 5.6 this year. Next year's the big year in 27 with 26 mil. Then after that, it's just a roster bonus. Cap hit's not bad, and they have a void year for cap acceleration.
So
Interesting.
they got creative. They got creative with that deal. They know
Yeah,
exactly what
they
they're
do.
doing with it. So it's not going to hurt them at all.
He's just going to fail there, which is fine. It's not with us, but I didn't realize how it was structured for him.
I honestly don't think there was really anyone else after him. I really don't. Other than the Dolphins are bidding against themselves.
Yeah.
Because I don't. It was so obvious, like once they went to Miami, that he was going to sign there. Like it was like the writing was on the wall as soon as that happened. Like, and nobody said like, "Oh my God, wow, Malik Willis, Miami." This was like, all right, Malik Willis, Miami. It is what it is.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
knew as
and-
soon as they hired the head coach that he was going there.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm whatever. I mean, I love seeing that team just fall to the ground. I mean,
My hate for the Dolphins is high. Like I'm normally high. It shouldn't be. They've done nothing
hate
to us
them.
really.
Right now.
I hate them.
I actually have never really truly hate the Dolphins. I just, I don't want them to get better before us. You know what I mean? Like I don't want them.
That can't happen. That
And
absolutely can't
I
happen.
love the storyline of that. Although we haven't made the playoffs in like 15 plus years, whatever it is that we still have a more recent playoff win
Exactly.
than they do.
Right. Who
Which
cares
is-
if you make it if you don't win?
Exactly. So like to me, like I just think that's funny. But I mean, like I don't know if it's. I've had a few different instances of Dolphin fans. I have a couple of friends that are Dolphin fans, and they're great. Pip, you obviously know that the encounter I had with Dolphin fans a couple years ago, where that was fun. But other than that, it is what it is. I'd much rather see teams like Buffalo and the Pats absolutely just fucking suffer. Those are the two. Dolphins just like whatever. They're not in this tri-state area at all. They're up and down Miami. They're kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just something rubs me the wrong way. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's nothing
but
to hate this year. We're probably gonna beat them at least once.
hopefully, I mean,
If we lose to them once, I think that's a problem. They're going to be awful.
I mean,
we'll see, but they should
we
be
never-
them once.
we'd never win in Miami.
sweep
ever.
them. Yeah,
We never win in
We're
Miami.
also not good. I think you're forgetting
Right.
that.
correct.
But staying on the topic of Miami, I'm not happy about this. I know Pip's not happy about this.
Big
But
hands, Carson Beck,
Why?
6'5".
Like, I mean, it's just. I mean, I'll let you talk Carson Beck all you want. I'm not a Carson Beck guy at all.
Yeah, listen, he's not going to get a guy that should be drafted in the top 3, 4, even 4 rounds. I don't think he's the worst option 5, 6, 7. Like, he's a guy that could be a career backup, and that's fine if you pick him in the 6th round. He managed that. He ran that Miami offense all the way to a national championship. He looked decent throughout the whole year. I mean, I'm sure there's character concerns. His arm is not what it used to be, but like, if I'm not going to lose my mind if they draft him in the 6th round. Like,
I will.
it's like, who, like, at that point, who cares? He's a guy.
Like, what's the point?
I don't like. I've heard a lot of people say this, and I agree. Like, just draft a quarterback every year until you get it right. Obviously, he's probably not the guy that you're going to get it right with. Maybe he's your backup for the next 10 years, and that's valuable.
But at what point, like you said before, that we need to make those picks in the 2nd round? Why don't we need to make those picks in the 6th round? Like, the big thing that stopped us from being anywhere decent after we had a just surplus of 1st-round picks was that we didn't hit on shit in the late rounds. So why are we going to take a position that never hits in the 6th round and hope it does for us when we can go after a safety, we can go after a guard, where good teams get their depth? So when these guys leave in free agency, we just plug them in. At some point, we need a hit on that, and I'm not wasting a pick on Carson Beck in the 6th round.
That's fair, but whether it's a guard, a safety, a quarterback, a receiver, a running back in the 6th round, it's still a 6th-round pick. Like, the likelihood that they are impactful in the NFL level, regardless of the position, is pretty low.
But the hit rates are different for each position.
I mean, a quarterback, he's likely not to see the field. He's like, you know what I mean? Like, a quarterback's like a running back or a receiver, any other position. Like, there's more of a because they're going to be rotating out and they're going to be seeing some sort of snaps.
Like, you'd be more okay with them taking Allar or Allar, however you say his name, in the 4th round?
No, I'd rather not. You know how I feel.
Yeah,
I'd rather them not actually take one at all.
I don't think they're leaving this draft without a quarterback. Whether it's Simpson at 44 or 33 if he's there, or a Nussmeier or an Allar. Like, I don't think they're leaving this draft without a quarterback.
I think they're okay with it.
And not that he's going to be the future, but
I think as long as they show growth on the defensive side of the field, I think their jobs are going to be safe. I think they're actually talking to Woody about this, and I think that they could agree with Woody that if defense shows growth and it's not a joke like it was, that they can go get a quarterback in 27 in a much better class. I think look at the past. We took James Morgan in the 4th round. Why are we taking Dart, or was that something like that? Like, why do we have to? We don't.
No, I don't think we have to. But I just think that I'm just prepared for them to do something with the quarterback.
I think that, I mean, there's still time for them to sign somebody, but they kind of, I mean, Tyrod's gone, right?
Well, and that's the thing is we don't even have a backup yet. So, like, that, like, the longer we go without a backup, the more you're like, okay, what's happening here? Like, are they going to, like, I don't even know what else is out there for a backup.
I mean,
the longer you go without one, then you're going to have to draft somebody.
I mean, listen, I'm not supporting Carson Beck. I just don't think that. I agree. I don't think that's a smart pick. Like, I'd rather somebody that has at least somewhat potential, and like, I don't think Beck does. And you saw Washington do it. I mean, it doesn't. Not saying that it works, but they took 2 quarterbacks in the same draft. They took Jaden Daniels, and then what is it? Hartman from
Sam
Notre Dame.
Howell
Or Sam
or
Howell.
Hartman?
No,
Okay.
Hartman. Yeah, it was Hartman. Yeah, they
Yeah.
took Hartman. The man with the most luscious flow in the NFL.
I
Yeah.
think that was different drafts.
Was it different drafts? Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was different drafts.
We got the old Google machine here that we could
Let's
use.
see. Was it the draft before or the draft after? Is what I'm curious about. Because I think, I mean, listen, not that it really matters. He was never going to play. I don't even think he suits up. I think he's
It
pretty
was
much
same
just
draft, but Hartman was an undrafted free agent.
okay. All right, so that's different. That's totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just there. He's just there to look. Yeah,
Literally just because chicks think he's hot. That's why he's in the NFL.
I mean, Sam Hartman is hot,
That's
man.
just true.
And he
He's
is.
so
He's a
handsome.
good-looking dude. There's nothing wrong. Yeah. He's a good-looking dude.
He's so handsome, bro. He's so
Yeah.
handsome. Dude, he's so handsome. He looks like his feet. He might not be a great quarterback, but he is handsome.
No doubt.
That flow is just different.
That kind of leads us. We kind of lead into the Rappaport report. Ian Rappaport reported that it seems like the Jets will use this year as a transitional year to build up their roster with their eyes set on taking a QB in the 2027 draft. And that just fulfilled all of Pip's dreams.
It's just so much
in
better.
one tweet.
It doesn't make sense to go get a guy like Ty Simpson when you can take someone that's better than Ty Simpson a year later.
We've had a lot of back and forth on this, and I think the fact that they signed Geno, I agree on that now. Like, there's no need for them to go Ty Simpson now, unless it falls ridiculously late, or like a fifth round. Like, I don't think
He won't be there.
if he won't, unless something catastrophic happens. But there's no need for it now. Like, it just it's. You know what the board's gonna look like next year. You're gonna have a lot more chances, hopefully, next year to pick the guy that you want. You don't have to kind of handicap yourself to taking Ty Simpson this year, unless he really, really, really impresses you to the point where you really think he's the guy. But I think at this point, I mean, there doesn't seem to be enough buzz on it to where I think that they're going to. I think it's Geno. They're gonna let Geno do his thing this year, and take it from there. I mean, I think they are saying to themselves too is if Geno does win them games, it's like we have the capital to do whatever we want next year. We can trade up to wherever we need to be. We can afford anything, and they're going to go ahead and do it. So we'll see what happens, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I'd rather them fill the holes right now. You know what I mean? You have somebody that can hold down the position. You know, he might throw the ball. He might run the ball over 30 times a year, but he's also going to throw you 30 touchdowns. So it's just going to be like it's going to be an air raid constantly. And you see what happens in the year after that. And you kind of just take us from there.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's been actually eerily quiet around the Simpson and the Jets. Like, so much so that you think, like, is there something that we're not knowing and the building is just being completely quiet? But
no.
Which it's probably not, right? Like, this offseason with the Jets has been pretty, like, transparent. You kind of know what's going on, and things that we thought would happen have happened. So I imagine it's going to be Reese and a receiver. But there is one take I've been squatting on all day, and shout out Jet Heads. They put the bug in my ear, and then I actually went and did some little research on it when I got home from work. And it is – I don't think they should do this, but it is interesting to think about. Like, everyone talks about the 2027 draft class just for the quarterbacks, but a lot of people overlook the amount of blue chip talent at every other position that's going to be in that draft. And you're going to have 3 first-round picks. And if they fall in love with Ty Simpson, and he is as good as people are saying, that the gap between him and Mendoza is not that far apart, and they actually believe that he could be the next guy, you take him if he's there at 33, or you take him at 16, even if I think that's a little too high, but you take him at 16 if you love him. And then if the team is decent and either he sits the whole year and he learns, or he comes in and plays and he looks half decent and he looks good, then you go into next year's draft with 3 first-round picks that are maybe all inside top 20, top 25, that you could use on like a Jeremiah Smith, a Cam Coleman. Who's the other guy from Notre Dame, the cornerback? Leonard Moore. Like, there's a lot of blue chip talent in the 2027 draft that is not necessarily quarterbacks. And we did this last year with the quarterbacks where, it's going to be Allar, Nussmeier, Dante Moore. Like, we're going to have our pick at whoever we want at quarterback. And the next thing you know, we don't have anybody. There's the clear-cut number one, and there's a debate around Simpson where next year, if Dante Moore shits down his leg, Arch doesn't look great, Sayin is like, then we're going to be sitting here saying, oh, shit, like, we don't have a quarterback again.
I think
That was long-winded, but
this 2027 class is like widely known as it. Like, you just started listing. Oh, geez, can't talk. Listing some quarterbacks, but like you still didn't touch on like the CJ Cars of the world. We see what Mateer could do in a second year. Like, there's so much, and with wide receivers also, like, you're still missing like Nick Marsh, who's transferring over from Michigan State over to Indiana, and honestly a much better program that like right now, who knows what his ceiling is. Like, next year's class, like, that's part of the reason why I want to suck as much as possible, as like much as I do. Like, if it doesn't happen, so be it. You know my real thoughts on the year. But if we suck as much as possible, don't have to trade up for a quarterback, and then we're sitting there with a blue chip wide receiver prospect as well, we're going to be scary. Like, that's going to be a scary offense no matter what. We have the veterans on defense. Like, at the end of the day, next year's class is better. And like you said about Ty Simpson not being that far off from Mendoza, I don't like Mendoza as much as most people do. So I think a lot of people in next year's class would go 101 over Mendoza. I don't think he's a strong pick. I don't even think he's the best player in this draft. I think Arvell's much better than him. So
I agree.
at the end of the day, like, I don't want a quarterback from this class.
Yeah,
they all suck.
Not to sound like Dan Orlovsky, but I do think Ty is better. Like,
That's
I
fine.
think 100% Ty is better.
We could agree on that, but they both suck.
I think it's a little extreme.
Honestly, I think when Dan Orlovsky opened up his fucking mouth is when I said I'm done. You know what I mean? Because he's just a fucking moron. I'm not going to listen to a guy that ran out of bounds.
He's a clickbaiter, but those first 8 games from, like, if Ty didn't get hurt and he was in this, if you flip spots, Mendoza would have looked just as bad as Ty looked in the last 4 games, and Ty looked great in the first 8 games before he got hurt. So I don't know. I'm a big Ty stan. We don't have to go down that road again. But
Mateer looked great in the first 8 games that he played, and then he broke his hand.
Right, and then he broke his hand. Yeah,
celebrating from Mateer.
I listen. I'm a Ty guy. I've always been a Ty guy since September.
At the end of the day, like, he's started 15 games in his career.
I don't like that either. Yes, I do. I want a quarterback that has played 2-3 years and started for a decent amount of time. So I'm not disagreeing with you. It was interesting to think about, like, if we were able to have our quarterback this year and go into next year's draft with a fresh slate of just picking best player available all with all 3 of our picks.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of had that either way. I mean, you're doing it this draft, and then you pick the quarterback next draft, and you know, it's like I said, it's been very quiet on Ty Simpson to the Jets. You have not heard anything. And then also looking at people like Carson Beck and Drew Allar, it's kind of just like tells you that, like, they're not serious about taking a quarterback this year. They're kind of just doing their due diligence to see if there's somebody they want to take in the later rounds. Because otherwise, I think there'd be a lot more buzz on it. And I think that they're recognizing that, you know, if they hit on these 2 picks, like, they are coaching and GMing for their jobs. They hit on Reese, and which I think is again, how can you not? And if he ends up being a bust, that's not even on them. At the end of the day, he's the best player in the draft, so like that's not on them. And then you draft one of those top receivers, you know, with pick 16. You know, it's right there. Like, those are 2 great players that you can potentially have, and you're in a prime position next year where it gives even more flexibility to where you can even trade one of those 3 first-round picks for somebody else, whatever you want to do. Like, not saying quarterback aside, like, if they'll draft somebody, I was saying you can use one of those first-round picks to trade somebody. You know, who is somebody around the league that's available now that you might not be able to get your hands on? You never know. Personally, rather than draft somebody to trade for somebody, I think it's just always the way to do it. But yeah, I think the tie to the Jets is kind of dead unless it happens somehow in the second round. But even then, I don't think it's going to happen. So we'll see what happens with that. You know, I'm I'm changing. Like, I'm on Team Tank, but I'm changing
You're just
my.
Team Pitt.
Sure, I could say I'm Team Pitt, but yeah, I'm changing my stance that I'd rather at this point just go to 2027, and yeah, we can be in the same position again. But like I said, I feel a lot better about winning the 2027 with Geno Smith behind center. Not saying that he's gonna make it to the playoffs for us. We joke about it all the time, whatever it is, but at least I know that like it's not a black hole back there. You know what I mean? Like there's somebody been in the position. You know, it's not going to be a repeat of last year, and you might not win games, but there'll be games that they're hopefully competitive in.
And one thing with the Beck and Allar, like people I think are putting way too much stock in the fact that they spent extra time with these guys. Like the real reason they were at Miami is to see Bain and Mesidor. The real reason why they're with Penn State guys is to see the lineman and the running back there. Like it just so happened that Beck and Allar are part of that group. I don't think this doesn't mean, oh my God, they want to draft Beck and Allar. Like, do I think they're going to take a quarterback in this draft at some point? Yeah, but them spending extra time is a little bit overblown, I think.
No, I agree. I was just gonna say that like LSU's pro day was today. You don't see a single thing about them meeting with Nuss. It's because they're not looking at a guy like Delane who like is probably gonna go before 16 and after 2. So at that point, they probably just said screw it. We're not sending our best guys there. They're going for the guys that are gonna be available. Like at 16, Vega's gonna be available for Penn State. They did their due diligence on Drew Allar. If they take him, they take him. Probably not, but I think they're more focused on this top of the draft than a quarterback later. I think a lot of people just like the idea of a quarterback, like throwing smoke at it and seeing what sticks.
100%.
Yeah, I mean it's about a month away to draft.
Yeah, I think it's a month to the day. Is it April 23rd or April 24th?
Damn, it's March 24th.
It's already March. Yeah, it's already March 24th. I think
the draft is April 25th.
Yeah. It's
or April 26th.
23rd to 25th.
23rd, 25th. Yeah, I mean, a lot. You're gonna get a lot of stuff.
A lot of smoke.
But the thing with the Jets, like I think it's pretty. I think too, it is like a lot. I think everything else is gonna be smoke that comes in after that. Before we wrap up here, I'm just obviously not Jets related, but what do you think that the Giants are going to be doing at 5? I'm just really curious because I've heard obviously them going after Love, which makes my opinion no sense. But there's a lot of talk about it, and they have made it known that they've been looking for a running back, and they have not brought anybody in. So, do we think that they're going to end up with Love at 5?
Are you about to call Chris right now?
I don't think so.
I should call Chris right now. That would be great.
I think they're going to boost up that secondary because it's the worst part of their defense. I mean, their offensive line, they spent so much capital on already.
Yeah.
Weapons, they just got, 2 number 3s in Calvin Austin and who's the other guy they got? Darnell Mooney. Yeah.
Did they hang on to Tracy?
Yeah, Tracy's there.
They have Tracy, they have Scat.
Scott's coming off a pretty gruesome injury, though.
Yeah, I know. I think he'll be fine. He's the type of guy that you just throw back out there. But like, I think if you get a Delane there, sure up this cornerback 1 position. I think that's their best move. I think someone's going to trade up for Jeremiah Love. I think it's going to be a lot like Bijan or Gibbs, where a lot of
they're saying the Titans. They're saying
the Titans are sitting there at 4.
Right? Honestly, I was going to say can't see Rob Saleh do it, but after the whole Gibbs thing came out with him and Joe Douglas, like I could see it.
It's just like that would be the icing on the cake of a terrible fucking offseason for the Titans. And I hate how much hype they're getting because they really did not do anything at all. They rebuilt. They did a hybrid team between the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah, I'm not be as bad as you guys think.
I'm not too dialed into the Titans. I don't know all their needs. I don't think anyone will really knock that pick just because he's such a generational player. He's such a great player. I don't think anyone will knock the pick, but it'll be interesting. Like if a team, I don't know who can move up for a guy like that. Like, are the Vikings going to move up for a guy like that?
I think it's between the Vikings and the Commanders in my mind. I think everything at the top is smoke just to get a trade up.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
It actually cannot like the Vikings kind of make sense.
Yeah,
like, what's that running back room look like?
I'm pretty sure they let Aaron Jones go, though, didn't they?
No, they brought him back.
Did they?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he'll pull his hamstring by week 5.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
usually,
he's not going to be starter there. I don't know if Jordan Mason's still there. Like, it's bad. That's what it comes
Yeah.
down to. It's just bad.
Yeah, I mean, if they get involved, that'd be pretty interesting to see that with Kyler Murray. I mean, that offense is going to be very interesting to watch next year with Kyler because he's a different type of quarterback than that they've had.
I'm kind of excited for it. I don't know why.
I think that they'll be a lot better. I'm excited to see Kyler there. From a fantasy perspective, I think you're going to see obviously Justin Jefferson rebound again, and someone is going to get a great pick of Justin Jefferson, probably late first round, early second round in fantasy next year, because he was fucking terrible last year. But that was just really bad quarterback play. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly this offseason for the NFL is interesting. I feel like there wasn't that much that happened that made you say, "Oh my god!" Again, draft night though, usually a lot changes. So we'll see what happens.
There'll be trades on draft night.
I'm fully expecting the Eagles to move on from AJ Brown. I think
there's a world where we trade out of 33 as well. Like you have a whole night, the teams fall in love with the player, going into that 33rd pick, the first pick of the second day. Like you never know what could happen.
I kind of hope they don't, unless they obviously got to see what the board looks like. But
Yeah.
the one
like
thing,
if Hood is there, you take Hood.
Yeah, like I think you really got to see what the board looks like. But the one thing that I might even put money on the fact is that I really think that the Eagles are going to trade AJ Brown, and I think that they are going to somehow recoup a first round pick for him, and then they're going to get a first round pick for him, and they're going to take one of these stud receivers. They're going to somehow and one of them in their laps.
I've been reading that they
just
can't.
got Elijah Moore.
I've been reading that they can't trade him until after June 1. Like the trade can't go through until June 1.
Yeah, but you can have it in place.
Yeah,
AJ Brown.
Right. So, but they'd be getting a first round pick next year. Like that wouldn't happen this year's draft.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know why it works out that way, but I've just been seeing that.
All right. Cool.
Well,
all right, guys.
Mock drafts later on this week.
Yeah, let's look at our next episode. Let's go through our mock draft. Hopefully we got a full squad there. Let's do a full first round mock at a bare minimum.
Yeah, let's just make the board a little more realistic than what we did last time. Yeah,
last time it was a little too automated. So let's see what happens in the fall next week. So next week's episode would be really diving into the mock, going through that, and then let's play through all the different scenarios of what things are gonna look like. But don't think much is gonna happen this week. Obviously, if you see some headlines, we'll bring notice to it. But yeah, I'm excited to mock it this weekend.
Cool. See you, boys.
All right, guys.
Love you.
Peace.
See you guys
later. Bye.